karya dari ahli. Outside, ahlinya oat milk.
Have you ever tried outside? What do you think of it?
Oh, it's outside? I love them. Everything they make is great. I don't even need to look at the ingredients, not gonna lie. Once I trust a brand, I stick with it.
So I purchased outside a few times, and the first time that I bought it, it's because, not gonna lie, the packaging is really cute, but it's after I saw what's in the back of the packaging that really sold me, because clean ingredients, no weird chemicals, no extremely added sugar, and only about 100 of calories. I was like, okay, this might actually be legit.
I actually want to buy milk. Let's see. Whoa, 11,000 for this? That's kind of a price. There's a cheaper brands that taste the same. I don't fall for fancy packaging. I just want a good deal.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Marketminds, your go-to source for consumer insights. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic of perception and consumer behavior. How do brands shape what we see, hear, and feel about their products? Let's find out.
Alright, now let's start with the basics, which is perception. So, it is how each of us interprets the world around us. Now, imagine walking into a store, bright lights, catchy music, attractive packaging. Now, these sensory inputs are picked up by our eyes, ears, and even our nose, and interpreted in a way that's unique to each of us. Why? Because our needs, values, and expectations shape what we see and how we feel. Now, not everything reaches our brain. That brings us to sensory threshold. So the absolute threshold is the minimum stimulation needed to detect something. So for example, the faint smell of coffee in a bookstore might just cross that threshold. Then there's the just noticeable difference, or JND, where marketers use this to tweak products or prices just enough to go unnoticed or be noticed, depending on the strategy itself. And while subliminal perception sounds exciting, studies show that hidden messages below our awareness don't significantly affect our buying behavior.
Next up is selective perception. Our brains filter out the noise. We practice selective exposure by choosing what to watch or listen to. With selective attention, we focus on what's relevant, like turning off ads during a YouTube video. Sometimes we protect ourselves through perceptual deference, ignoring messages that challenge our beliefs. And if ads get too annoying, that's where perceptual blocking kicks in. We skip, scroll, or mute. But how do we make sense of all this information? That's where jigsaw principles come in. Our minds like patterns. We see figure and ground. The main object standing out from the background, we use grouping to organize related products. Think cereal brands on one shelf. And closure, our brains fills in the gap, like recognizing a logo even when part of it is missing.
When it comes to evaluating products, we rely on both intrinsic cues, like flavors or size, and extrinsic cues such as brand names and prices. Ever bought something expensive assuming it's better? That's the price-quality relationship at play.
This leads us to consumer imagery. How a brand is perceived can be more important than the actual product. For example, Apple positions itself as innovative and sleek. Even before you use the product, you already have an impression. We also consider perceived value, which is the trade-off between what we get and what we give up, like time, money, or effort.
And of course, there is perceived risk that worries about wasting money, time, or getting a product that disappoints us. Now, there are 5 key types of risk. The first one is functional risk. Will it work? Physical risk. Is it safe? Financial risk. Is it worth the money? Psychological risk. Will this affect how I see myself? And time risk. What if it's a waste of time? But savvy consumers reduce risk. They read reviews, trust known brands, go to reputable stores, or even buy the most expensive option, thinking it's the safest bet.
Take Oatside, for example. They entered the plant-based milk market when most oat milks were either bland, thin, or lacked any real identity. Oatside noticed an unmet need, not just for better taste, but for a brand with personality.
Instead of positioning themselves as just healthy or sustainable, Oatside focused on being delicious, edgy, and fun. Their bold packaging, quirky tone, and premium coffee quality taste help them to stand out. This is a great example of consumer imagery. People don't just drink Oatside for nutrition, they drink it because it feels like a lifestyle choice.
And that ties it into perceived value. So consumers see Oatside as more than just an oat milk. They associate it with quality, ethical sourcing, environmental care, and cool branding. That combination makes people more willing to pay a higher price because they feel like they're getting more in return.
Plus, Oatside helps reduce perceived risk. They build trust through transparency about their ingredients and sustainability practices. Their strong cafe partnership and presence in specialty stores also signal credibility. For a first-time buyer, that reduces the functional and financial risk because it already feels like a safe and high-quality choice.
Oatside took a familiar product and gave it a refreshing twist, creamy texture, bold visuals, and a voice that speaks to a younger, values-driven market. That's what we call strategic brand perception in action.
Consumer perception is the foundation of all buying behavior. People don't react to reality itself, but to the way they perceive it, through their senses, expectations, experiences, and needs. Because of this, marketers must understand not just what consumers see, but how they see it.
Understanding consumer perception gives marketers the power to truly connect with their audience, not just by selling products, but by shaping experiences. As a future professionals, learning how perception influences behavior helps us craft stronger messages, reduce consumer risk, and also position brands more effectively in a competitive world. So next time you see an ad or choose a product, ask yourself, is it really better? Or do I just perceive it that way? Thank you, and see you next time.